Indonesia. Strategically lies in the heart of Coral Triangle. The global epicenter of marine diversity. Beyond doubt is a diverse paradise. Indonesia's underwater has so much to offer. Its beauty is unparalleled. And the excitement is limitless. Indonesia has raised the bar in implementing health protocols for diving activities. Nothing is left to chance, so that we can go back and enjoy the fun of diving in Indonesia again. Or challenge yourself to the next level. Or maybe a visit to the remnants of history. Or explore the best muck diving site in the world. Be prepared to be mesmerized by unique and exotic marine life. Such a paradise for macro photographers too. Diving in Indonesia. It's safer and more fun. You don't have to wait that long anymore to be back. So, what are you waiting for?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the final webinar session of 8x Pixel Expo 8th monthly webinar series global webcast. And we hope that you had enjoyed the last session diving myths and misconception with the panel of esteemed dive professionals. So today we convene over a united cause, which is our love for diving and also the ocean. And for this particular session brought to you by wonderful Indonesia, Indonesia Care, the Ministry of Tourism and also Creative Economy. This session will discuss on the topic of reviving Indonesia dive tourism. So commencing this session, we have a special opening video note from Ms. Rizky Handayani, the Deputy Minister of Tourism Products and Events, the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia. Herewith, let's proceed to watch the video note.
Selamat datang. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia, we extend our warm welcome to everyone for being here with us today. This is our second year participating in ADEX Pixel Virtual Expo, and we are pleased to share an update again with the situation of Indonesia dive industry. We are also excited as our participation this year coincides with the celebration of World Ocean Day 2021 in June. It has been more than a year since a pandemic struck, and we realized that it will take some more time before we see a full recovery of travel and tourism activities. But on the brighter note, with the development of the vaccines and the progress of vaccinations rollout in many countries, we are hopeful that these challenges will ease soon. During ADEX Pixel Virtual Expo, we invite you to dive into fruitful discussions on the importance of the ocean to our life and livelihood, and also on the situation of Indonesian dive industry. We are thanks and appreciate ADEX Asia for its continuous effort in keeping us connecting during the challenging time. This forum has been an effective and creative way to respond to the impact of the pandemic to the global dive industry. We hope that through this forum, Indonesia can always maintain its connections with the global dive industry, blue economy sectors, and their community. Finally, I hope you enjoy this event, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you back to Indonesia in the near future. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you again on ADEX Pixel Expo this year. My name is Lolo Sianipar, and I am honored to be the moderator for this session. I am pleased to inform you that this is the second year Indonesia participating at Adel Pixel Virtual Expo. This participation is aimed to reconnect with our industry partners, especially in diving industry. This session is also the last one of a four-activity series presented by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of the Republic of Indonesia at this expo. We are also pleased to share with you that this session marks the beginning of the celebration of the 76th Independence Day of our nation, celebrate on August 17th. Our discussion tonight, which is reviving Indonesia dive tourism, is aligned with the theme of our independence celebration this year, Indonesia Tangguh, Indonesia Tumbuh, or Resilient Indonesia, Thriving Indonesia. We believe that even though the pandemic situation has placed us in some limited condition, however, creativity and innovation can surpass beyond that limit. It's time for us to revive, grow together, and build better Indonesia. All right. As mentioned by Ibu Kiki's opening remarks, COVID-19 pandemic has impacted travel and tourism activities, thus affecting the livelihood of many people in Indonesia. Tonight, we will talk about Indonesian efforts in reviving the dive tourism amid the pandemic. Joining us today, two highly credible speakers to share their views and story in reviving Indonesia dive tourism. Our first speaker is Pak Abi Carnadie, head of CHSA Protocol for Dive Tourism Drafting Team. He will talk on CHSE Protocol, one of instrumental factor in reviving dive tourism in Indonesia. And our second speaker is Dr. Frans Tenguh MA, Senior Advisor to the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy on Sustainable Development and Conservation. Pa Frans will talk more about the readiness of destination and also future planning for tourism in Indonesia, especially in dive tourism. Well, during the session, we invite all the audience to submit any questions via Facebook comment box. Your question will be addressed during the Q&A session later. Okay, now I would like to invite Pa Abi to start his presentation. Hello, Pa Abi.
Hello, Lolo. How are you?
Hi. How are you? Good, good, Pa. I hope
Good.
you're good and well.
Yes, I'm good and well. Thank you.
Okay, great. So we can start your presentation on reviving Indonesia dive tourism.
All right. Let me
Yes,
share my screen.
great.
Uh, from start. Okay. So, can you see this one?
Yes,
Clear, right?
yes, it's very clear.
Okay. So, welcome everybody. Please allow me to start with my presentation. Okay, reviving Indonesia dive tourism. It's diving tourism after a year of pandemic. You see that basically this is Indonesia, and then we got hit. I think not only Indonesia, but all other countries, because basically international borders were closed to travel since last year. In the meantime, we also still face COVID-19 surge across the globe. There are still lockdowns, yeah, including Indonesia. Basically, forecasts on international tourism by the Oxford Economics predict tourism basically won't reach 2019 level again until 2024. Yeah, so it's still quite a long battle. Um, City tourism most likely will have a challenging recovery, because I think once the tourists coming back, they would like to stay away from densely populated area and choose going to nature or outdoor. So, anyways, then that's why I still have faith that diving tourism will revive, but most likely it will start with the local diving.
Yes.
Okay, if I may, when the pandemic hit, main concern is basically to save the diving tourism industry before. So because dive resort in really in bad shape at that time, because tourists are the main client. No tourists flying in, so dive resorts there's no activity. Um, so basically, we need the industry needs support to mobilize domestic tourists to travel and dive. Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy take lead by running webinars on diving safety standard. It was in April 2020, talking about the informations on do's and don'ts related to diving and COVID-19 at that time. And then again, the support continues. It's followed by a campaign to support local dive resort, not only to see how they are doing, but also to inform, to show the highlights from each destination. It's through the Supporting Indonesia Diving Tourism through the Apa Kabar Diving Indonesia campaign. So at that time, it's basically we invited a lot of influencers to support. And of course, we also doing a event at ADEX Pixel Expo last year. Okay. In 2020, basically, the industry received a lot of support from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, promoting the local diving. Okay, CHSC guidelines. These guidelines released basically in August 2020, the final version, August 2020 edition. We did socialization for the CHSC guidelines in Manado, Bali, Lombok, Bajo, Labuan Bajo, and Jakarta.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we have two versions, the Indonesian, the Bahasa Indonesia, and also the English versions.
Mm-hmm.
The information is actually coming also from the industry and also from Divers Network. The guidelines covers from general activities to specific activities, covering dive shops, classrooms, swimming pool, boat diving, pier, and also live on board. So we have all guidelines covering those parts, disinfections of equipment, etc. And then we have self-assessment forms for employees and customers or tourists. Also, emergency action plan. All can be found in the attachment of these guidelines. So when we released this one, we received quite a good response from the industry. They really appreciate it, and then this guideline is very easy to follow. So at that time, after the socialization, I did notice that basically all the players in the industry, they starting to follow the guidelines and then apply it in their own facilities. But anyway, with this development, with all the different version of this virus, we already planning to update the guidelines based on the latest informations about the COVID-19 virus. We have to make some more adjustments basically for the guidelines. Okay. November and December 2020. This is actually where the audit, CSHE audit is conducted. The audit is basically a voluntary based. It's not mandatory, but dive centers, dive resorts, live on boards, all sign ups basically for an audit. So after the socialization, after we explain what will be covered, what will be checked, in total there are about 87 indicators on the CHSE audit checklist. So the industry is signing up, and then for the audit. If you see the pictures over here, this is basically two facilities in Jakarta. They already passed the audits with a good score. So, and then they all receive this banners that they can, banner stickers and everything they can put on the facility to show. The audit is basically free of charge. So it's covered, supported by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. On the right side, there's pictures of when I doing the audit in the industry. So at the end of the industry on the audit, I'll show them the score, basically what is what their score, and then what things that they have to improve, basically. But most of the time, when they follow all the guidelines that we prepared, it's not too difficult, basically, to pass the audit. One thing for sure, it's the dive tourism industry is committed to following the CHSE guidelines and ensuring that the business entities participate in CSHE audit, even though not all already audited, but they're all still keen. I still receive questions on when the audit will be, will start again. Everybody is actually already waiting for an audit.
That's great.
Yeah. So because they want to have the certification and want to show that basically they're already following the guidelines, because this guidelines will bring trust to the business. Yeah. Okay. This is also another example, diving in the new normal. Because what happened is customers expect to see a serious process to ensure their safety. When they're renting equipment, they want to make sure that the gear is already disinfected, or the process of disinfecting dive gear is important. When they took courses, they want to make sure that the dive skills adjustment recommendations by the agencies is actually followed. So all the staff who's working in the dive centers already taught and understand the procedure, so they can apply when they're teaching. And then also we have staff already, diving staff is already get their vaccines. They also expect to have something like small groups when we go out diving. We know that diving industry will not get back to the what it was, the pre-coronavirus pandemic. just by wishful thinking. So basically, plenty of hard work, and it will take time. One of the hard work is basically changing how we do business. Besides, we have to adding those CHSE guidelines into our daily standard operating procedures. Okay. Again, this is a sample from one of dive centers in Jakarta who successfully implemented the CSHE standards. So they are looking after the rental equipment, as you see all the pictures, all the things that will have contact to the mouth. It's all covered after disinfection process. All the box when you do the disinfection, so they don't mix one equipment with the other equipment. Once it's done, everything is going into one bag all the time and then sealed. And then you see also they applied the standards that whenever you're still on land, you have to put on your mask. You see the pictures, the third pictures, instructors give briefing, they're still wearing masks. And then everybody on the boat, everybody still wear mask. So you're still allowed, you still have to wear mask. And then before getting to the water and then changing to the diving mask and regulators, you have to keep mask in your face. That's actually also in the guidelines. Okay. All right. In 2020, basically Indonesia was awarded as a winner for best destination from Dive Magazine UK. You know that we received a lot of awards since 2017 and 2019. Now 2020, everybody knows 2020 is the diving is kind of stopped. Okay, but I'm proud. Basically, we still received as a best destinations, even though travel is very limited at that time. Along with the best destinations, there are best live aboard on the second and third place, also from Indonesia, and then best dive centers resort on the first and second place. It's in Komodo and Bali. Okay, so I believe that this is kind of trust from the diving community. We know that the fact is Indonesia is a world-class diving destination, so residents don't have to travel to experience the beauty of Indonesia underwater world. And then during the COVID-19 in 2020, people look at activities they could do within the country. So once the lockdown was eased, people wanted to go out. In the city-based, dive centers like Jakarta and Surabaya, the diving course demands are actually increasing, which is this is good. This situation is what they call a revival of the local diving, because before local diving is kind of less options. People want to see Nemo, whale sharks, thinking about laying down in the white sand beaches and everything, and then they don't think about if I live in Jakarta, I don't want to go out diving in Jakarta. But now it's become what they call popular. Okay, and then at that time, before the micro lockdown, like what we experience now, before it's still easy to travel and not too difficult with all the requirements, of course. I saw a lot of movement from the divers in Jakarta and Surabaya, all over Indonesia. Right, they're still going out, and of course, when they go out, they go to the dive centers who already apply CHSE in their standard operation procedures. Okay. Promoting the local diving basically is to retain divers from dropout rate, promoting continuing education, and basically to get new divers to be able to survive in a situation like this, unfortunate situation like this. Indonesia, we still need more local divers. So basically, we still have to keep on promoting to get more Indonesian divers. Okay. what's next? For the 2021 and beyond, okay, besides vaccines, of course, because we know that a lot of tourism workers already get their vaccines. Bali, North Sulawesi, Raja Ampat, Jakarta. Some areas still actually ongoing. But what we have to do next? We know that we have to accelerate the vaccines. For example, just want to bring up a case like in Raja Ampat, for example. You're not allowed to boarding a fast boat from Sorong to Raja Ampat if you don't have the vaccine certificate, which is quite good. And then they provide a place where you can get your vaccines over there. So this is one of the good movement. But anyway, we need to do. I think there are 5 parts that or 5 points of considerations or priorities in the diving industries. Number 1, still health and safety of customers and employee. So customers expect to see a serious process to ensure their safety, protecting the health and safety of customers and of course employee by following the CHSE guidelines. This is still number 1 that the industry have to consider. This is the first priority. And the number 2, of course, the industry have to adapting a business model, promote local diving to local market, maybe private class instead of teaching groups or going out with the private group, small groups instead of big groups. Focus on what you do best. In diving business, we talk about the 4 E's, which is education, equipment, experience, and then environment. Then maybe in this part to survive, dive centers have to choose what they do best. Maybe equipment retail and maintenance only, or if they good at courses, so they just concentrate on the course, that kind of things. Basically, to survive, because of doing all of the activities at one time, it's in this situation it's probably difficult. So they have to start to what they call choose what they do best. And then diving industry have to remember to study the market again, and then find the opportunity and growth from that part. And number 3 is basically investing in technology. So learn to conduct courses, e-learning courses, because it's possible. Basically, selling equipment with e-commerce, for example, and then you can touch base with your customers online with webinars, Zoom or whatever. So basically, investing in technology, because of this one is also recommended in the written in the guidelines. Courses, we want to limit the face-to-face session, so you have to do the online, for example. The number 4, human resources adjustment. In this case, we have to emphasize the teamwork, efficiency and performance-based working, basically from anywhere. You don't have to go to the office every day. So basically, when it's not necessary to go to the office, then I think the dive centers can give an opportunity for the employee to you can work anywhere. Everything is measured by the performance, for example. And then last
so
but last,
dive and work, Pak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you know that right now there's what they call the digital nomad, there's also, I believe there's another statement about what becoming a business and leisure, so it become leisure, so you combining business and leisure. But it's basically the same. In diving, it's not really necessary, because when you have students, you can teach remotely, for example. Only when you have to do the skill in the swimming pool, then you have to meet the students. of course, following the health protocol. Everything is written in the guidelines. When you have to go out to the island, again, all the guidelines actually already stated what you have to follow over there. So give more what they call feeling of safety to the customers. Okay? And then last but not least, basically the support from government. We still need, because the industry needs the support from the government. What kind of support? Like this event, for example, support on updating the standard, support on the what they call the audit certification. So that kind of support, basically, that can offer to the industry, we will be gladly accept it. Okay. So basically, that's my presentation.
Okay.
So
Yes.
in overall, I would like to say that the CHSE guidelines is followed by the industry and accepted. Of course, there's a little bit of minor complaints here and there, but it's not something that is too difficult to follow, because of I believe that the guidelines is actually good for the industry itself.
Yes, and
Okay.
also because Indonesian is archipelago, Pak Abi, so
Yeah.
it's not more challenging for our remote area, our dive center at remote area to follow the protocol, right?
No, it's not difficult
Mhm.
because of the it's all standard, basically. What is written over there, what is stated in the guidelines, it's all standard. There's nothing difficult to meet.
Correct.
And then there is no specific or requirements. For example, when you give there's a rules that you have to provide a place to wash hands, for example, right? To wash hands.
Okay.
It's not specific that you have to do like this. As long as the objective is met, a person individual can wash their hands properly, then it's already meet the requirements.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you so much, Pak Abi. Your presentation is very clear and concise, and we already have several questions, but we need to wait until the Q&A session. I'll get back to you soon. After this, we will see Pak Frans' presentation first. Okay, Pak Abi? Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you.
Okay. So again, I would like to encourage our audience to just put your questions in the Facebook comment box. So we will ask to the speakers later on the Q&A session. So for our second presentations, I would like to invite Dr. Frans Teguh MA to do the presentation. Hello, Pak Frans.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Bapak.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, very
Still
clear.
Okay,
Are
thank
you
you.
well? All well, Pak?
Yes, well, but I'm wearing mask. No problem.
Oh, you're not in the room yourself by yourself.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we're waiting for your presentation to be shown.
Okay.
All right. And then yes, and then Pa Frans, please continue with your presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Bu Lolo and all audience. Good evening, everybody. So nice to see you all. Well, my topic still in relation to the marine and diving tourism destination in Indonesia, and the context is reviving Indonesia. So I got checked the terms of the reviving means fact of condition and an effort of how then we continue to live and to exist in our difficult circumstances. So it means that looking at the situation of the pandemic, now we are facing for that, and we are fighting also for that. But still, I would like to encourage more positive and great optimism for all of us, and to see that this is the momentum. This is also our time to be more creative, to think out of the box, and to see some opportunity in this. It's also our difficult time, but still we still have a green light and clear future. I think so. Well, yeah. Next slide, please. Yes, I'm going to show you. Yeah, this is our marine tourism, and I think everybody's now that Indonesia is an archipelago countries, and we are more than 75% are sea. Next slides. Next, please. Yes. Yeah. These are the marine tourism activities, including diving that already mentioned clearly by Abi before. And it's just to make sure that all the location across the country, in the remote areas, in the small islands, and also in the rural coastal ones. So this is really great potential for Indonesia in terms of the marine, including diving tourism. But still, we have a role of the government to facilitate, to manage together with the business partners and also with the communities to have a great destination, a great holistic tourism experience. I think this is very important to touch with this kind of issues, because when you are doing diving, so it means that it's also contain the act of the conservation, and how then we can educate our market and also the communities in the local level to conserve the resources that we have, like coral or small islands, and also the life surrounding. Next slide, please. Yes, this is yeah, just to show the impact in terms of the economic as well as social and environmental one. So we got to see that in terms of the economic point of view, yeah, we got hit by losses, and also affect the employment, workers, etc. But another side, you can see that in environmental impact, the improvement of in natural environment now is coming better and better. So increase on the destructive fishing, illegal or unreported and unregulated fishing. That is also reduce waste due to tourism. That is another side of the positive impacts on this kind of situation. So that is just to see how then the environmental now and also the nature see the momentum to recover, as well as to see the how the planets exist so far. Yeah, next slides. Yeah, this is a kind of approach, and I just want to highlight, because it's very important to convert from the quantity to quality. So as our chair commitment from minister, we are shifting from mass to sustainable and ecotourism. Sun, sea, sand, yes, is another paradigm, but now we are coming to more sustainable, more serenity and spirituality experience. So touching more and connect to the nature-based activities. Yeah, next slides. Yeah, yeah. Here we can see the effort of the government, including our parties from private sectors, operators. We are coming with the more focus on the ecotourism, slow sport, marine, forest healing tourism, culture, nature-based, and also rural adventures, just to touch the shifting of consumers' behaviors, trends, and preferences for the millennials or centennials or adventure backpackers in the future. And now we are coming to see that this is a range of the product on the ground. Next slide. Yes, maybe you can jump to slides. Slide 10, please. Yeah, come down to slide 10. Yeah, here we are. We still working to build the market, gaining trust and confidence. So that's why when Abi mentioned about the CSA protocols, this is an instrument in terms of how can we build the confidence and trust for the public about market internationally or domestically. Well, it is technically in country with the standard and the quality of the experience, and we are focused on the environment. So that is now see the issue of the combating illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, and also good regulation, of course. That is also a kind of the effort that now we are undertaking together with the private sector, local level, destination managers, including regional governments. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, this is a kind of the strategic issues mapping in terms of how then we are dealing with our current situation. So, as I mentioned before, that the awareness and the needs for the safety and more hygiene priorities in selection destination is very important. So people now wants to have a safe mobility. So that's why our efforts right now, how then we can touch in every single entry point up to the exit point. So we should have to make sure to ensure in terms of the supply side and also in terms of the market and consumer point of view. So all this range of the touch point must be comply to the health and safety protocol or standards. So that's why we are working with the end-to-end CHSE protocol. So just to make sure that when the people come to the airport or come to the destination, so they should have to be more safe and feel comfortable in doing this. It's really not easy right now, but we are doing that and we are promoting this kind of effort just to send the positive image, positive perception to the markets. Yeah, next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, this is all about the stage that now government undertaking so far in terms of the implementation of the health protocols. So we are pushing successfully vaccinated and come to the health insurance, and all together to minimizing the risk of the contracting, minimize the risk of the transmitting. So we amplify more testing, treatment, and also tracing, doing calling for public disciplines to combat this pandemic. So we need let's say this is really a lesson learned for the country, for our Indonesia experience. So we should be together and hand in hands and to be more disciplined in doing this. So this is very important, very crucial. Government cannot stand alone. We need to collaborate with all cross sectors, all people, with the communities, with the business, with the media as well. Yeah, thank you. Next slide. Yes, this is a kind of the recovery framework that now we are undertaking so far in the platform of the innovation, adaptation, and collaboration. This is a kind of approach in doing this. But then again, how then we are working with the destination revitalization to get more confidence and safe mobility. And we are focused now to domestic one. So this is very more realistic in terms of catching the existing market. And still we need to manage the great expectation for the international market, and also still working as strengthening tourism development. So all of these efforts now cross sectors working together, partnership with our other ministries and also our regional government. So now it's still challenging for us, as I mentioned before, but so still we do this as a kind of instrument and also as a strategy to recover, to be more revival in the next few weeks or maybe this year. So it's very important to be more optimistic that we can control and manage the pandemic graphic to be flattened, and we can revive our business so far. Yeah, next slides. Yes, this is the strategy, and as I mentioned before, that we are working with the destination strategy and touching with the market attractiveness to have a destination appeal, including dive center, dive destination across the country. So we are paying attention to the nature, culture, and human resources, and we want to be more quality, resilient, and sustainable one. Yeah, next slide. Well, this is a kind of the approach to be taken into account in terms of how then we advise our partners in terms of reopening our tourism destination, including dive spot, for example. So still the case, the new case rate, and of course the population infected is very important as our first consideration to see the prospect of the destination. And we are working with our local data task force and also BNPB. An adequate health and safety system readiness is very important to make sure if the destination is ready or not. So then again, implement the monitor health, hygiene, and safety standard, including CHSA, and how then the management of the destination deal with the visitors management, distancing, queuing, information, do's and don'ts or emergency plans, and also the readiness for community and the implementation of the tourism activities and standards, and also integration and cooperation with the local stakeholders. So that is again a total football approach. How then we can deal with the destination reopening. So again, for example, like Bali, we got planned, let's say in our plan to open Bali soon by July this year. But then again, we are coming to the second wave of pandemic, and now we should have to reevaluate, reassess this current situation to consider more safe first for the people and also for the tourists. So this is a kind of the effort that now we are working together with our partners in the regional level. Yeah, next slide. Yes, next one. Yeah, this is only the best practice. How can we can take into account how some other countries now they are working seriously, and I think as I mentioned before that we are optimistic to be more ready in continuing our life and to exist in our difficult circumstances. And again, it's very important to have a collaboration, get together and see the creativity and innovation as also a tools and instrument to be more resilient for the future. So I think this is all from my point of view, and thanks for the time. So I'm back to Ibu Lolo. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Pa Frans. A very elaborate presentation. Now we're moving to the Q&A session. But first, Pa Frans, I have a question for you. The first one is like, looking at the cases have been rising tremendously in the past few weeks. What will be the government's focus in reviving dive industry today? I mean, like, do you see this second wave pandemic as a big setback to the progress that has already been achieved, Pa Frans? Please.
Yes, thank you. So again, as a matter of fact, we are facing, yeah, we can say it's our second wave to combat pandemic. I think this is the real now. We are facing now. We are fighting for that. Yeah. So here it's very important to emphasize our role as a government to set the strategy. As I mentioned before, that it's a strategy for the recovery. So how then we focus on the safe mobility. So that's why we are amplifying more vaccination program for the people and also for the stakeholders.
Yes.
And also how then we can call for discipline for the public to be more disciplined with to wear the mask, keep a distance, and just to make sure that everything is under control and more discipline for the people and for the community. And I think this is very important also to see as the momentum for us to reset and reassess our destination. So that's why we are more ready for receiving guests or receiving tourists for coming years or for coming months. If we can handle and manage well this pandemic, I think we can be more recovery soon.
Okay, that's true, and very true, Pa. Hopefully it's happening very soon, yeah, Pa, yeah? And this number of COVID can be declined quite fast. Okay, now for Pa Frans and Pa Abi, we have several questions from social media. I'd like to read the first question from Joel Ellie. Hi, which destination do you think are the most prepared for international tourists when borders open? Is this for Pa Frans or Pa Abi? Which destinations that both of you think are the most prepared for international tourists when the borders open?
Well, from the government point of view first, but then I think Pak Abi will respond for this. From our point of view, strategically, we see that every single destination in Indonesia are ready. Ready for receiving international or incoming visitors. I think that is our standpoint. But see, considering the current management in handling this pandemic, so we should have to be more prudent and prioritize the location, and we should have to be ensure the readiness in the local level. So that's why in our government strategy, we set up some destination to be promoted first. Let's say I can mention Bali or Yogyakarta, Bintan. So the three of the popular destination right now, because they are more ready in terms of international treatment as well, and also how then they can touch with the market. So let's say in the cross border, Bintan or Batam is very close to Singapore, and let's say Bali is more popular for Australian or for I think for the international market as well. So I think that is our priority. But still, we are working comprehensively assessment day by day, time by time, to see the graphic and the fluttering of this pandemic control. So that's why now we are everybody can see, everybody can feel this kind of situation. But okay, we are working also with the travel corridor arrangement, for example, or travel bubble. So that's kind of the efforts to see the prospect of the market, just to see that okay, we are ready now to receive the visitors, but still we should have to make sure the protocol and standard to be applied, to be implemented rigidly as a part of our business, because tourism is a business of trust. So it's very important to underline this point. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Pa. Great. Okay, the second questions. This is quite cute. From Bule Bolang, is there whale shark diving here? I mean, like Indonesia. Of course, we do have ya, Pa Frans and Pa Abi. And then moving on, from Ratih Dewi, is the list of 87 dive centers publicly disclosed? Can we have it? I mean, the ones that already got the audit certification from CHSE. Maybe this is Pa Abi, ya, Pa, ya? Is the information disclosed?
I don't think the information is already released, but every dive centers who receive the who passed the audit is basically they have the right to show the certifications already, right? But I think it's a good idea to have all the list what they call it, and then show it to public. But besides the local, besides the Ministry of Tourism audit CHSE certification, would like to add that actually Bali, for example, they actually also run their own certification locally, and I think it's already covered almost all dive centers in Bali.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, Bali. I see.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Great. So the next question is from Reno Raditya. Did you have any global benchmark when formulating the CHSE protocol for dive industry, Pa? So this is like, is this meet international standard? I think that's the question. Yeah.
Yes, of course. we've been supported by the Diverse Alert Network.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing a lot of research, basically related to COVID-19 and diving.
Mm-hmm.
So we receive a lot of support from them, from Diverse Alert Network.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that one, we also using the WHO uh, information from WHO, from CDC, from various international organizations, and also from locals, the Ministry of Health. So
Okay, good.
basically, we gather all information and then pull out all the relevant informations into these activities.
Okay, Pak. So it does meet, ya.
Yeah.
Pak. Terus, and then the next questions is from Riliani Eli. How is the implementation of new health protocol in the tourism destination? I think this is bigger than not only that, but the tourism destination. Maybe Pak Abi and Pak Frans?
Maybe Pak Frans can, when talking about destinations, I think Pak
Yeah.
Frans maybe have the.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's similarly to the dive sites. We have already introduced and implemented the protocol, TSAE protocols, and for the destination, yes, we do that. I think this is also a kind of the government regulation and facilitation to have a comprehensive protocols. So that is this are kind of convergence protocol, because every single business now we are endorsed the protocols and guidelines. But the overall destination, let's say if we are talking about the destination, so the destination comprises business entities, hotels in there, homestays, tour operators, dive sites, restaurants, village tourism or desa wisata. So that there's a kind of the aggregate component on that. So by having this kind of the standards, so it means that we already fulfilled the requirements given in the certain protocol or certain standards. So that's why it's very important to note down as Abi said or mentioned before, that we got standards or information gathering from Ministry of Health, and also from our partners in the global level, WHO or UNWTOs, because as a guidelines, we also got some clues and guidelines from the UNWTO for the destination. So again, this is a kind of process and management to touch in every single items in the destination to be fulfilled in the standards and protocols.
Yes, I see, Pak. Okay, Pak. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next question from Tudil Hakiki. How big is the contribution of domestic market in supporting Indonesia dive industry to survive? How much longer can we rely on domestic market? Is this for Pak Abi or Pak Frans?
I think this one is for me. How big is contribution of domestic market in supporting Indonesia dive industry? Honestly, not big enough. Honestly, not big enough. I know that some areas actually experiencing, or give report or share information like, oh, I'm going to have customers, divers, students, whatever. And then with the uncertainty of the situation, where suddenly we have to do this micro lockdown again, it's difficult to see the growth, because last year, after the first lockdown, when things already start to open, people can start to travel. Actually, the domestic market is growing. Yeah. Okay. When we have fasting, and then the Lebaran, Idul Fitri,
Yeah.
it's also slowing down.
Mhm.
We do expect that basically it's going to grow again, but unfortunately, actually the effect from the previous events adding cases in this COVID. So what happened is it stopped. But to be honest, it can turn the wheel, but not that much. So basically, we need in the end we still need international
The
traveler.
international, yeah. Agree on that sih ya Pak ya. Maksudnya need to revive until
Yeah.
that amount again.
Yep.
Okay, next question is from Kevin Ramon Korompis. What are the monitoring measures in CHSE implementation given the fact that development of the COVID-19 pandemic situation is very fluid? The
Okay.
monitoring measures, Pak.
Monitoring measures. Okay, we did one monitoring and evaluation once in Bali. It was last year, I think. To see if they're still follow the CHSE guidelines protocols. Basically, the result of the evaluation, monitoring and evaluation is good because of the dive centers, the dive results still consistent following the guidelines. Basically, of course, monitoring and evaluation, it's mandatory. We still have to continuing do that, do the monitoring and evaluation. I believe that in a normal situation, at least twice a year, okay, at least twice a year, depending on the diving season, of course. We should do the monitoring and evaluation to make sure that the protocol is still in place. Yeah. But with the situation like this, with uncertainty like this, it's difficult to actually to apply the monitoring and evaluation.
Yeah, can I add more some more information, Pak? Yes, in relation to the monitoring and assessment, for example, as the scheme for this, let's say for the certification, it's the range of the certification time is about 3 years. So it means that in every years we should have to do monitoring or surveillance. The performance of the entities complied with the certain standard. So that is very important, very crucial. So that's why, as Abi mentioned, that we do the monitoring regularly, and then we engage also the local government because as a part of the mandatory, so it means that it is free, but still we need commitment from the entities of the business. If they have got the certification, so it means that this should have to be consistent to apply this as a promotion tools and also to gaining trust. So that is very important. So that's why we engage local governments to see how the implementation so far on the ground, so that we can see the measure and the standard effectively implemented in every single business or entities when they got a certification. So it's very important. So certification is not a matter of just a plaque, but it can demonstrate the commitment from the business to have a certain level of the quality and standard. So it's very important message that I think it should connect to the trust of the people. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Pak. Thank you so much. Okay, we have two last questions. From Shirley Tini, are we ready to open international tourists by end of this year? This is $1 million question, of course. I always hope the best, traveling getting more challenge. Are we ready, Pak?
Abi, yeah, I think if I'm working with the timeline, so it means that it is under control. So to be honest to you all, so the pandemic is not under control yet now. We are working so far to fighting with to combat with this pandemic. So that's why it requires our holistic and solid commitment and also participation from our stakeholders. So I think yes, we got some scenario. So that is very very humble response from my side. So we have scenarios to open soon our destination. So the sooner is better, but still we are working seriously with the certain and real condition in our circumstances. Thank you.
Okay, Pak. Yeah, we need to be optimistic all the time, ya, Pak, ya, because okay, this is the last question from Arif Yudowibowo. How the free diving also imposed with the current CHSE guidelines? What is your opinion on the fact that the free diving community also can help to revive tourism? By the way, I asked this because of the virtual background, our own virtual background. There's a diver over here, free divers. Okay, maybe Pak Frans or Pak Abi can answer the last question. Thank you.
Pak Abi, I think.
Okay, thank you, Pak Frans. Okay, Pak Arif, thank you for the questions. But I think free diving, yes, we haven't covered free diving in our guidelines yet. Okay, not specific, even though it's the activity is basically covered over there. When we're talking about equipment, disinfection equipment, etc., is covered over there. It's just the difference is actually with free diving, most of the diver, they own their they have their own equipment. They don't do the rental and everything. So it's more personal. Not with diving. Most of the time, divers, they like to rent equipment, or they have a tendency to rent equipment. So that's why disinfection is very important. But maybe we can look for this special activities later on when we do the updating with the guidelines. And then community also can help to revive tourism. Yes, basically, of course, the free diver community, they can help revive the tourism. For example, like when they come to an area, they stay in the area for quite a long time. They do the practice, the free diving things. They're staying in the they can stay in the hotels, or maybe in with the local community, homestay, for example. They it contributes to the local economy, basically.
Yeah.
They like to travel because of basically Indonesia. It's dives, sites for free diving. It's in everywhere. Okay, we have beautiful sites everywhere. So yes, they can contribute. But again, when we cannot travel, then the activities have to stop. So hopefully everything will get better, and then we can start travel again. I mean, the local, the domestic tourists, the local divers can start to travel again, just like before.
Yes.
Okay, and then Arif is actually one of the member of the team. So I'm going to ask him while he asks these questions.
Privately.
Just kidding.
Yes, it's a very challenging question. Okay, that was the last question. Thank you, Pak Abi Carnadie and Pak Frans Teguh. It has been a
Thank you.
wonderful discussion of this great topic. And also thank you to all audience who have dived into a very fruitful discussions. To sum up our conversation today, that right now Indonesia's diving industry is putting the utmost effort to implement the CHSE that meets international standard, of course. So people will dive in Indonesia and know they are truly safe. And also in reviving Indonesia tourism, this is also the right moment to shift mass tourism to sustainable tourism, more quality tourism with value of experience, confidence, trust, quality assurance, and responsibility. So we hope the discussion tonight can give you an optimism and opportunity for better Indonesia tourism development, especially in diving scene. Before we go, I would like to thank Adel Pixel Virtual Expo for being a great platform for diving industry in Asia and all diving enthusiasts around the globe so that we can stay connected and exchange information, especially during this very challenging period. Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you soon in Indonesia. Until then, stay safe and well. Bye bye.